Welcome all to a new episode of Toast to Toss where we'll be discussing IPL, the 15th edition, IPL 2023. How big, how fantastic, and are people actually following the tournament? We have our regular pundits of the game. So we have Bidhu and Tejas with us, and I am Arijit. And on that note, Tejas, how has the IPL been so far? Were you actually looking forward to the IPL?
Whether we like it or not, I think IPL is something that everyone looks forward to every year because it brings in. I think it brings together the whole country. There have been talks that it divides based on the franchisees and the teams and all those things. But in the end, you look at the number of people watching it on TV and going to the ground itself. And the first match between Gujarat Titans and CSK had a full house, which was more than 1 lakh people. The numbers just speak for themselves, I think. I'm one among them. I truly enjoy IPL ever since it started in 2008. I want to call myself a purist, but there's no way that I'm going to come and say that I don't like IPL. To be very honest with you, I was looking forward to it, and then the tournament till now has lived up to my expectations.
Vidhu, has the tournament lived up to its expectations, your expectations?
It certainly has with the last 1 week. I think in a string of 4-5 matches that went down to the wire, and especially some players who we did not expect to do that well. They did come out on top of some players who were expected to do well. I'm referring to the match against RR and CSK, where we expected Dhoni to finish things off, but Sandeep Sharma stood in front. And I was quite amazed to the fact that he did a brilliant job, but the entire crowd was totally silent, and he just had his 5-6 players or 11 players in the field to celebrate. As opposed to Rinku Singh, who completely decimated Yash there, and the entire nation just had like cheering for him. So yes, I think it is living up to the expectations. There are newer stars who are getting generated, and hopefully new fans along with them.
So, do you think in its 15th edition, finally the IPL has come of its age because now you have newer stars to look forward to? Gone are the days when people would only look forward to, say, a Rohit Sharma or a Virat Kohli.
I think it will last for 1 or 2 more years until these players are there, because you cannot obviously replace them. But once they go, I don't think they will entirely go. People like Dhoni and Virat Kohli will always be with the respective franchises in some capacity, maybe a mentor or something like that. But they need to invest in some players for a longer period of time. Like you saw a Hardik Pandya, who were Mumbai Indians had invested so much moving away from Mumbai Indians. Now Mumbai Indians have to find someone else. Like obviously Ishan Kishan and Surya Kumar are there, but they need to hold on to them, and then only the fans will connect with them.
Okay. And we'll have a little different. There are so many matches, so many teams to follow. So we'll just take a few highlights from the last 2 weeks. So, Tejas, coming to you, your favorite game of the entire season so far?
It's a tough one to pick because there have been some really, really good matches. I think I like the fact that RR have been very efficient this time. I think they're very clear with their plans, and the impact rule has really helped them. I think that they always have proper 7 batsmen and 5 bowlers kind of a scenario, which is how cricket was known from the time its inception, right? I like RR, but I think you really can't look beyond KKR versus Gujarat Titans. I'm sorry, Bidhu, if you are going to pick that game as well, but no, it's such a fantastic story. The sad thing is that I switched off the TV after the first ball, after Umesh Yadav took that single. I switched it off, saying that okay, it's not going to, it's not going to work out. Who will hit 5 6s? But what an amazing story! I was watching a video on YouTube which was 2 years old, where some reporter has gone to Rinku's house, and we just see it's just, it's not even a house, to be honest. It's very small. It is in some remote place in Aligarh. I think just the story of I mean, I think this 5 6s are the culmination of what all he has gone through in his life, and these are the stories for which we watch the IPL as well. So for me, it's GT versus KKR. It had everything. It had a Rashid Khan special as well. Venkatesh Iyer played well too. And KKR were not fancied that much, still not, but I think initially as well. So them doing well, and underdog story, everyone likes it. So it's GT versus KKR for me.
Bidhu, so Tejas has already stolen that match from you.
Yeah, sorry about that. That was your pick.
No, I mean that would be everybody's pick because hitting 6 6s is
5 6s.
difficult. I mean, we saw it first. Like for me, it was the first was when Yuvraj Singh got hit against England in 2007, and then he hit 6 6s. But to do it in the last over when you are actually chasing that much is something which is I had never seen before. Nobody would have seen before. So that is something difficult to look beyond. But there were two other games played around that match. One is when Harshal Patel had to defend 6 or 7 runs and he almost pulled it off. And then Andrik Nokke. I mean, for me, Andrik Nokke having 6 runs to defend against Tim David and Cameron Green in that pitch was a much difficult task, and he almost again pulled it off. So I feel it's difficult for me to choose between Harshal and Andrik Nokke's last over, but I would choose Andrik Nokke because Harshal Patel had it in him to just defend it. He only missed his run out, and eventually Dinesh Karthik also missed it. So it was their mistake, but in case of Andrik Nokke, it was too tough against two big batters to defend only 5 runs.
Okay, good. You spoke about that RCB match versus Lucknow Super Giants. So, Tejas, you being a RCB fan, what did you think was what annoyed you the most about that?
And I think it's really difficult to be critical of players because I, for one, have not really played cricket at at the highest level.
As a fan,
As a fan, I mean, for someone who has played 18, 19 years of cricket in his life in top flight, to be missing a ball when one run was required of the last ball, right? I don't know. I mean, it just, I still cannot fathom how that it happened. Of course, mistakes do happen, but these players are trained for keeping their focus in tense situations, and that was it. You collect the ball, you hit the stumps, you're in a super over, and anything can happen. And these are the moments that you are you're selected for the team. These are the moments that you play the game as well. So I think that part really annoyed me. I mean, if we had just a disclaimer, if we had won via the run out at the non-strikers end, I would have had no problem at all. There is a section of cricketing community over there who still feel that it's what do they call not
One
a
cut.
of the game.
Not
I wouldn't call it a man card, of course.
not in this way.
Yeah, I mean, of course, for a fast bowler, it is difficult. So I wouldn't really blame Marshall. He bowled really well. I'm still annoyed with Dinesh Karthik, and he comes out again and gets out the first ball against Delhi as well, triggering a collapse. So not really happy with Dinesh Karthik. Hopefully he'll come through, and we can see at least a shadow of him from the last season.
Speaking of keepers, one interesting person, one keeper who was actually sidelined last year was Riddhiman Saha, but I think he's having a good season with Gujarat Titans. He's getting the runs. He is also in the thick of taking fantastic catches, doing excellent reviews. So, Bitu, do you see Saha making means at least getting a chance back in the Indian team or no?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult because the position is always open, but it depends upon how well he can bat and how well the team management thinks he can bat in overseas conditions. But the wicket keepers in IPL, I don't think they play better or they want to improve their game with the aim of playing for India because they know the IPL teams are vouching for them. You see the criticality of what Tejas was mentioning. A few misses here and there will cost you the team. Just compare that to the DC game. Again, the last over, there was Abhishek Borel, who is a unknown wicketkeeper, and he reviewed it. and that in that moment to review a wide when your total focus is on catching the ball, which is going on the leg side. So your wicket keeping skills has to be much more. And you see teams that are already 3-4 wicket keepers, even a foreign wicket keeper. There are certain teams having 3-4 wicket keepers, and to make it to the playing 11, you really need to be good. So from that point of view, I think all the wicket keepers have to be on their toes. And Ridhiman Saha, I think he's a better T20 batter if the IPL performances are considered as compared to a Test batting. So in that perspective, I think Ridhiman Saha has 2-3 more years. So IPL franchises can invest on them. I'm not sure about India.
Actually, I was really surprised. If I'm not mistaken, Shrikar Bharat is also in Gujarat, right? And he was not the first choice keeper there. So I was a little surprised given that he plays for the team right now and he gets more chances than someone who has been sidelined. I was wondering why Vridhiman Saha is still keeping for, because I remember Vridhiman Saha used to play for CSK and he used to field near the boundary line and all that. So when Dhoni was in the things, I probably guess it's same for Shrikar at the moment. Another person, I don't know, you mentioned Porel. So Porel replaced Sarfaraz. In the first place, why did Sarfaraz even get to keep?
Yeah, I mean, it was unfortunate, as we all know, right? Rishabh Pant, of course,
Yeah.
is out of the season and out of the year as well. Yeah, even I was surprised when Sarfaraz's name even came up. I'd never really seen him keep, to be honest, but yeah, I mean, it's very difficult. But then, I mean, tying his place in the team to wicket keeping and not giving him ample opportunities against reflects why Delhi are, of course, last in the table currently. Too much of chopping and changing. I think it started with Sarfaraz. I think he still could have been in the 11 for a couple more games and see how he would have gone. Yeah, tying his place to wicket keeping was a little harsh, according to me.
Okay. And also, do you feel bad for the bowlers given that everything is going for like every match goes beyond 200 and still they find it difficult to defend? Do you feel bad for the bowlers or it is something the bowlers have to bear with? Bidhu?
It has been happening since the inception of T20. So there are bowlers who still do ball well. You can see the re-emergence, if I may say, of certain bowlers. Sandeep Sharma was unsold. He was brought by RR and he has rediscovered himself as a dead bowler. He today also bowled the last over where he picked up 2 wickets. That is Mohit Sharma, who we saw in the mid-2000s in the World Cup 2015, and now he is back. There is Rishi Dhawan. So they just have to rediscover what they want, whether they want, and also when the captains are replacing bowlers in certain pockets, like someone is being used for a death bowler, someone is being used as a middle over bowler, and someone as a power play bowler. So they can utilize their skills, figure out what they want to be in the T20 format, and once the IPL is played in different parts of India with different grounds, they will definitely get 1 or 2 games in any franchise they go on to.
Okay. So I will be moving to a segment called the rude, going to the rude. So there were some moments which I think the players were actually a little rude. There was this one thing, there's this one famous case of Harsha Bhogle being told by each and every fan that he is not being fair to the batsman when there are comparisons being made of his commentary when he's describing, say, uh, Virat Kohli innings against Rohit Sharma innings. Do you think is it fair to criticize a commentator given that they are both batting at different? Someone is batting for the first innings, someone is batting for the second innings. So, what do you make of it, Tejas?
Uh, yeah, I mean, it's, I mean, they're just there to, give their views. And it really depends on us as to how seriously we take it. Because Harsha Bhogle has been, we have known him for like what, 25, 30 years now. He's been calling the game. Yes, his opinions do have some weight, but in this age of, social media, anything can be twisted. because commentary, maybe people will think it's easy that you go there and talk, talk about the game and talk about the proceedings, but it's very difficult, especially in IPL, because you have 100 other things that you should be worried about, right? Like sponsors and all those things. Maybe in that sense, he did miss out on few adjectives to describe Rohit Sharma's innings. But again, it really depends on us how we take those views. I mean, it's true for social media as well, right? So
Right.
I'm just saying that these days everything is made a big deal. So
Okay.
I really don't see a point in criticizing Harsha Bhogle of all people.
Okay. The other thing which I found a little rude was Ravi Shastri. I don't know whether you find it rude or not. Ravi Shastri telling that the Indian bowlers, they should have a permanent residency in NCA. What is your opinion about it, Bidhu?
Yeah, so he had made two statements, which may be sounding harsh, but it was quite true. One is, of course, on Indian bowlers, and second is about bits and pieces players. So he made a statement that if you are bits and pieces player with the impact sub rule, you are not going to be finding yourself in the first 11 unless you do either of those things perfectly. But I'll stick to what you asked, like Indian bowlers getting injured. Look, it's something which we also got, at least I got frustrated when it comes to Indian team. Like there are a lot of players who were selected, they got injured midway into the World Cup. Even players like Bhuvneshwar Kumar, who went to England, and we all thought that his swing will come handy in those conditions. And midway, or even the starting of the series, he got out of this tournament. But it's hard. It depends upon how quickly they are getting into action, how quickly they want to play certain tournaments, as opposed to resting throughout the season. But if it can be controlled, I don't know. We don't have the information. We don't have the information about the health. We don't have the information about whether they are choosing tournaments over certain tournaments and whether they are rushing into playing matches. You saw what happened with Jofra Archer. I think Mumbai Indians would be, I don't know the right word, I mean, pissed, if we can say it. They were thinking of having Bumrah and Jofra Archer a couple of seasons back, and they spent a lot and see how the bowling is lined up. It's completely disarrayed. They don't know whom to rest upon. And they even don't know whether they will actually see both of them together or not.
How about getting Arjun Tendulkar? So very impressed by Arjun Tendulkar today.
I was looking forward to two things: whether he is going to bowl on power play and whether he is going to bowl in the end overs. So he definitely bowled in the power play, where he was respected in the first over. But towards the second over, the team realized that people can hit him if they want to. So I think he got restricted with 2 overs. I was looking forward if he is going to bat as well in number 5-6, but he didn't. Let's see if he
I
gets.
think the first over he gave about 4 or 5 runs. And then I was thinking that people are just afraid of him, not of him, of his father actually, whether they will attract him for that. Okay, the other thing, and probably we'll end with this. Something I did not like is Gautam Gambhir's hushing the RCB crowd. I think it was totally uncalled for. I know RCB fans are quite vocal. They support their team a lot, but him doing this sush was something I don't appreciate, especially, and that might backfire for a team which is not playing well in their home ground. That being Lucknow, they are yet to win a game over there. So, Tejas, as a RCB fan, what did you make out of it? Was that even called for?
I mean, I can understand if a player who is actually in the action reacting in certain way in the heat of the moment, yes. But someone who is sitting at the dugout, having his cold drink and just writing on few notes on a sheet of paper, to come out onto the ground and shushing the crowd, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Gautam Gambhir, we all know that he's forthright with his views. He's not afraid to make his own statements or speak his mind. All respected, but one small thing that Gambhir really forgets is give respect and take respect. He didn't really give any respect to the crowd, and I would say that they should play that clip over and over again at the RCB team meeting, and show it as some kind of a motivation, because if someone can come to our home ground and do something like that, we have to retaliate, and then retaliate it by playing well. So maybe whenever, I don't think we are playing LSG again in the league phase next, but if we do qualify for the playoffs, and I really feel, I hope that we face LSG again, and then this particular action from Gautam Gambhir will be served as a motivation to the team, and then they can take it in a positive way. But Mr. Gambhir needs to remember that line, take respect.
Actually, that one thing, that incident actually eclipsed something really funny, and that was the bowler, what's his name, who threw the helmet,
Always,
Avesh Khan, yeah. So I found it
he did in the
hilarious,
door. That's the only
actually.
thing that he did in the door. He didn't touch the ball. He didn't hit it. That's the only thing that he did.
It
Yeah, I mean,
remind,
I'm still okay with that because he was in the heat of
it
the
was very
moment.
funny. It was very funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. At least he ran, and then he's a player who is in the action. He can do whatever he wants. He can celebrate. But someone or a coach to come into the ground and shush the crowd, it just doesn't make any sense.
It actually reminded me of one match. It was India and New Zealand, and Sehwag was playing really well, and the rest of the team, they were just losing their wicket. So Sehwag almost he carried his bat, and he scored the last needed run. India had lost about 9 wickets. They just needed a 1 run to win, and he scored that run. And on the opposite end was Javkal Srinath, who could not bat for to save his life. But then when Sehwag scored that run, Javkal Srinath took up his bat and he's showing it to the crowd. Everyone is cheering for him, but he had not scored a run. So similar thing I saw with Avesh Khan, and bowlers are really fantastic actually. Like they get hit all over, but to still be in the thick of things and enjoy the game is something we look forward as fans of the game. And I think we had a lovely episode. Looking forward for more such interactions. And hopefully next week we return with one more episode. On that note, thank you all for watching this episode. And thank you, Tejas and Bidhu. You have been fantastic.
Thank you.